Freedom Radio.
This is Freedom Global News.
New chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum emerges. National Hajj Commission of Nigeria begins preparations for 2023 pilgrimage. Correspondent reports on the effects of unemployment on the mental health of the Nigerian youth. Another foreign scene, Guinea ruling junta launches violent attack on current president of ECOWAS.
This is Freedom Global News.
Good evening, you listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. I am Hawa Adamikiawa. Today is the 22nd of September 2022, which is equivalent to the 25th of Safar 1444 after Hijri. And now the news in full. The Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal has replaced his Ekiti State counterpart Kayode Fayemi as the chairman in Nigeria Governors Forum. In a statement issued by the Director, Media and Public Affairs of the Nigeria Governors Forum, Abdulrazak Bello Barkindo, said Tambuwal assumed the position today at the National Economic Council meeting in Asu Rock Villa, Abuja, after Fayemi transferred the baton of office to him. The statement said Tambuwal will be holding fort until May next year when a proper election is conducted among the governors. Prior to his new role, Tambuwal served as vice chairman of the forum under Fayemi in the last 4 years. The statement said before making the announcement, the FT State governor acknowledged the results-driven output of the NEC and thanked his colleagues and other members of the council for their support. In his response, Professor Yemi Osinbajo prayed that Dr. Fayemi's services both nationally and globally to development and to all of the good which the nation deserves and global community deserves will continue. Reports say that Dr. Fayemi will formally hand over the chairmanship of the NGF to Aminu Waziri Tambuwal on October 16th. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, says it has commenced preparations for the 2023 Hajj towards a successful holy pilgrimage. The chairman of and Chief Executive Officer of NACON, Al-Haji Zikrullah Hassan, said this at the Independent Hajj Reporters 2022 Hajj Lecture and Award held at the National Mosque Auditorium today in Abuja. Reports say that close to 2,000 intending pilgrims could not be airlifted, that led to complaints by states, pilgrims boards, and Umrah and tour operators. Similarly, over 250 staff of the commission deployed to Saudi Arabia for the Hajj exercise were not paid their ESTA code in good time and were now paid for a week out of the outstanding. The staff were told that they would be paid for 28 days instead of the 30 days approved by the presidency. Presented by Dr. Ibrahim Sudengi, the Director of Administration and Human Resources, NACON, has said that the preparation started at the end of the 2022 Hajj, even before departure from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He said that the Commission held preparatory meetings with accommodation providers in order to secure befitting accommodation for the 2023 pilgrims. The new Commissioner of the State Water Resource, Al-Haji Garba Yusuf Abubakar, has reiterated his commitment in providing adequate water supply in the state. Al-Haji Garba Yusuf Abubakar stated this when he visited the Emir of Kano, Al-Haji Aminu Adu Bayero, at his palace. The commissioner said he was at the palace to solicit support and fatherly advice on how to move the ministry forward.
I am personally with my staff to the Emir of Kano to pay a solidarity and courtesy call as an honor and respect and knowledge and
the appointment and charged him with experience in achieving the set objectives of the society.
mu ma kuma duk lokacin da muke da bukatar saduwa da shi don ba da shawarwari akan abubuwan da al'umma suke zuwa gare mu da shi, Allah ya za mu neme shi da sauran mataimakansa domin a taimaka wa al'umma a fitar da su daga irin larurori da za su fuskanta.
The Emir then thanked the state governor. The commissioner then thanked the state governor, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduji, for selecting him as Commissioner of Water Resources, and hoped that the staff of the ministry would give him all the necessary support and cooperation. Emir's Palace correspondent Shamsu Da'u Abdullahi reports that the Emir also received the chairman of Kundila Orphan and Needy Welfare Association, led by its chairman, Malam Salus Al-Hassan, at his palace, where the Emir noted that assisting the needy in Islam cannot be overemphasized. The Emir further charged the association to redouble its efforts in that direction, as well as calling on wealthy individuals in the society to assist the needy. On the sporting arena, 4 months after the Nigeria Football Federation announced ex-internationals George Finidi and Ike Shorumu, assistant coaches to Super Eagles coach Jose Peseiro, both are yet to be offered a contract by the Federation. Arizona has details of this and other sports updates.
On May 15, the NFF appointed Peseiro as the new Eagles head coach, with Finidi named the Portuguese first assistant, while Shorumu was named the goalkeeper's trainer. It was gathered that the duo will not be on the bench when Nigeria take on Algeria for the 22nd time at the 40,000 Stade Olympique in Iran next Tuesday, in an international friendly if they are not offered a contract and repaid their outstanding flight fare. Meanwhile, FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup Flamingos to arrive India next week. Bankole Oluwakere, head coach of Nigeria's Under-17 women's national team, the Flamingos, said he is certain that his squad will perform well at the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup, which will take place from October 11 to October 30th in India. The coach believes that the team will arrive in India next week to start preparations for the World Cup finals. In another update, Chelsea Football Club has announced that Steve Atkins, Director of Communications and Public Affairs, will be leaving the club to take up the role of Chief Communications Officer with McLaren Racing. Disclosing this in a statement today, Chelsea said Steve will continue to act as a senior advisor to the club and support the transition over the next few months. During his time at Chelsea, Steve helped develop the club's communication into a deft, authoritative, and world-leading operation, working confidently and at pace under some of the most intense media scrutiny in global sport, while promoting a culture of greater collaboration and engagement across all departments within the business. And on tennis, Roger Federer's final match will see him play alongside old rival Rafael Nadal in the Lever Cup doubles on Friday. The pair will represent Team Europe against Team World's Jack Sock and France's Tiafoe at London's O2 Arena. Federer, 20-time Grand Slam winner, said last week he would retire at the team event, which starts on Friday. Zara Zenna, Freedom Radio.
The Global News is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradio.nig.com. Welcome back. You still listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. The Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria says over 60 million Nigerians are suffering from mental illnesses, which had led many people to their early graves. Experts say that the unrelenting situation of high unemployment in youth can cause a high risk of mental illness. To this end, Freedom Radio reporter Shimkut Rosafina discusses with experts on the causes, symptoms, and measures to take when tackling mental illness and files in this report.
Psychologists and sociologists have argued as far back as the Great Depression that unemployment damages emotional health and undermines the social fabric of the society. Psychologists draw a conceptual connection between involuntary joblessness and mental health in numerous ways, such as incomplete psychosocial development, feelings of helplessness, perceived lack of control, and failure to obtain the non-monetary benefits of work. According to experts, prolonged helplessness can lead to depression, where unemployment is psychologically destructive because it deprives a person of valid but unobserved byproducts of employment, including a structured day, shared experiences, and status. Some Kano youths expressed their opinion on how unemployment may affect mental health.
For someone to go to university for 4 to 5 years, and you're studying 4 to 5 years courses, and after leaving the school, still you don't have a job, it will definitely affect your mental health in the sense that you will be regretting why did you even go to school in the first place.
As a man, when you sit at home, you are in a public compound, you stay in a public house, and you wake up in the morning and you see everybody in the compound, they are all going to work. They have where they are going to, and you are the only person left in the compound. It affects your psyche. You ask yourself, is my own different? How come these people are going to work? They have where they are going to every morning and have where they are coming back from, and I don't have anywhere I'm going. That thought can affect your psyche.
Dr. Idris Salisu Rogo, a lecturer at the Department of Education and Sociology, Bayero University, Kano, sheds more light on the relationship between unemployment and social defiance.
Today in Nigeria, majority of our youth are unemployed, thereby pushing them to the vulnerability of the vagaries of various shocks and instability in our society. This unemployment rate can lead to, social problem. It has psychological effect. It has economic effect, and also it has some security effects.
A psychologist at the Faculty of Education, Federal University, Gusau, Dr. Abubakar Sadiq Haruna, explains how youth unemployment can affect their psychological well-being.
The impact can be felt mostly by youths that are exposed to some of these risk factors mentioned. Drug, of course, can make someone to be disorganized at early in life. And that such disorganization can lead to an individual to be unhappy continuously. It makes someone to remain so isolated and engage in drugs. And of course, it can also make the individual, can increase even joblessness, because someone is not psychologically composed or psychologically organized. That, of course, can bring about joblessness.
Studies show that unemployment causes stress, which untimely has long-term psychological health effects and can have negative consequences for people's mental health, including depression, anxiety, and lower self-esteem. Shinku Trosfina, Freedom Radio.
And on history, King Sunny Ade, a Juju singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist, was born on Sunday, 22nd September in Ade-Niyi, Ondo State of Western Nigeria in 1946. Amina Muktari Yakase has more on this.
Sunny Ade began his musical career when he dropped out of school at the age of 17, first joining the band of a traveling musical comedy troupe. Ade later moved to Lagos, where he joined a high-life Nigerian dance music band. Inspired by the music of Nigerian musician Ike Dairo and American artists like James Brown, Brooke Benton, and Jim Reeves, Sunny Ade joined the Rhythm Dandies led by Moses Olaiya, later known as Baba Sala. King Sunny was influenced by the legendary Tunde Nightingale, early Juju pioneer, and borrowed stylistic elements from Nightingale's Showambe. In 1966, Ade created his own group called the Green Spots Band, and from then on refused to take orders. 2 and 3 best-selling albums have followed every year since, until by 1976, Ade was chosen as best musician in Nigeria and called the King of Juju by his fans. It is a name he has held on to ever since. King Sunny Ade and the African Beat Tower with a lineup of 20 to 30 members. They play a spacey, jamming sort of juju, characterized by tight vocal harmonies, intricate guitar work, backed by traditional talking drums, percussion instruments, and even adding the unusual pedal steel guitar and accordion. Even though he has released more than 100 records in Nigeria, the King first became known in the United States after critically acclaimed 3-record run on Island Records in 1980s. Since then, he and his African beats have become perhaps the leading lights in bringing African pop to the West. Amina Muktari Akase, Freedom Radio.
On the foreign scene, the ruling junta in Guinea has launched a violent attack on the current president of ECOWAS, Dr. Omar Aliyu Touré, ahead of a summit of the organization, denouncing yesterday's remarks as a disgrace. Mamsan Uba reports.
In the attack today, the junta accused the ECOWAS president Dr. Omar Aliyu Touré of practicing clown diplomacy. Secretary General of the Transitional Presidency, Colonel Amara Kamara, said the crude lie and the remarks, which are similar to intimidations nowadays, retrograde practices which do not honor its author and tarnish at the same time the brand image of ECOWAS. Colonel Kamara blamed the current president of Guinea-Bissau, Umaru Sissoco Embalo, for his statement released yesterday. Mr. Embalo had warned that Guinea will face heavy sanctions if the junta, which came in power by force in September 2021, persisted in wanting to stay in power for 3 years. He reaffirmed that during a visit to Guinea, he had obtained an agreement with the junta to hand over to elected civilians after 2 years, which Colonel Kamara described as a lie. Leaders of ECOWAS member states are expected to hold a summit in New York today on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, with the situation in Guinea and the crisis between Mali and Ivory Coast at the top of their agenda. Meanwhile, the Bank of England hiked its interest rate again today to combat soaring inflation, as it warned that the UK's economy had already slipped into recession. The British Central Bank decision had been postponed from last week following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. The Bank of England made most market expectations as it lifted its key rate by 0.5 percentage point to 2.25%, repeating its August increase that had been the biggest rise since 1995. Muhammad Sanuba, Freedom Radio.
With this, we've come to the end of today's Global News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Hawa Adam Kiawa. Have a wonderful evening.